It is time for another episode of Council Bluffs Today, presented by Waldstein Plumbing. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. So in case you missed it, Toby Jack's Mineola Steakhouse, it has been sold. Bill and Kathy Good made the announcement that ownership has officially changed hands. I saw it on their Facebook page. It's now under the direction of Jennifer and Colin Post. I think I'm pronouncing your last name right, but if I'm not, I'm sorry. I haven't caught up with Jennifer and Colin yet. It is on my to-do list, though. And after I saw that, it kind of got me thinking about all of the local restaurants that we have around. And more specifically, today I want to talk about the restaurants that are right here in Council Bluffs. If you ask 10 people in Council Bluffs to name their favorite local restaurant, you're probably going to get 10 different answers. And it might even start an argument. Somebody brings up wings or barbecue, pizza, tenderloins, ice cream. Yeah, there's going to be a discussion. So let me be clear right away with what it is that I'm doing here today. I have not made a ranking. This list of restaurants that I have here doesn't have a number one because the last one on the list, which would be number one, it's not a winner. Number 10 is not an honorable mention. I'm not claiming that these are the 10 best restaurants in Council Bluffs. I'm not even saying they're my 10 favorite. I'm just saying they are 10 of my favorite. And they're in no particular order. These are just some restaurants that I felt like giving a little love to. So let's go ahead and get things started. Downtown at Napoli's, 157 West Broadway. This is one of the newer names on the list. I put it on the list because I had lunch there yesterday, and it was pretty darn good. They opened less than 2 years ago in the fall of 2024, but it moved into a building that has a much longer history. The building dates back to 1917. So if you have a newer restaurant operating inside of one of the older pieces of the historic 100 block, I think that's a good combination. Downtown Council Bluffs should be a place where older buildings are not just preserved to look at, they should be active, and they should have people walking through the doors, sitting down for lunch, meeting for dinner, giving the building another chapter. Napoli's describes its food as authentic Italian, with handcrafted pasta, seafood, classic Italian dishes. And when you look at the customer comments, pasta is just one of the things that comes up repeatedly. People mention the garlic bread, the portions, an atmosphere that feels warm and inviting. They also praise the service, prices, and atmosphere. It's a place built around sitting down for a full Italian meal and spending some time together and enjoying the setting. You can find the familiar Italian choices there, but part of the appeal is that setting. Napoli's adds another dinner option to part of downtown that already gives you a reason to park once you spend some time. Eat, walk the 100 block, see what else is happening downtown. You know that matters because a restaurant does not operate in isolation. Every place that draws people downtown can help the businesses around it. And every active storefront makes the district feel a little more complete. Napoli's open Tuesday through Sunday. They have catering, private party services. They also take reservations. So if Italian food sounds good and you haven't tried Napoli's since it opened, put it on the list. So now we're going to go from one of the newest restaurants to a place that's been building its reputation since 2009, and that is the Salty Dog. Salty Dog Bar and Grill at 2411 South 24th Street. And they've been locally owned, serving scratch-made comfort food since 2009. That's what they put on their website, by the way. And it gives it more than a decade and a half in a part of town, where travelers have plenty of chain restaurants. There's a lot of fast food around there, and they're all competing for attention. But Salty Dog has managed to become a local destination anyway. One of the biggest reasons may be two words. Can you guess what they are? Char buff wings. If you spent much time talking about food in Council Bluffs, you already know char buff wings can turn into a very serious conversation. The wings get that grilled finish, charred exterior instead of being left just swimming in the sauce. Salty Dog calls them nationally recognized. Char buff wings are clearly the signature item on the menu. They are also one of the most visible themes in customer reviews. They also talk about the grilled finish, the amount of meat on the wings, house blue cheese, sauces ranging from manageable to the kind that might have you reconsidering your life choices. There's ghost pepper wings. They show up quite a bit in recent comments, and so does the Buffalo sauce, buffalo chicken soup, Wisconsin cheese curds, and burgers. All right, let me say this one carefully. The Holy Mother Trucker Burger. I got it out clean, didn't I? That gets a lot of attention. So does Avery's Blue Cheeseburger. Those names tell you Salty Dog is not trying to be subtle. Here's what I think local restaurants like Salty Dog understand. You need an identity. A menu can have plenty of choices, but people should be able to name the one thing they associate with the place. And at Salty Dog, that answer, it's easy. Charbuff wings. And those comments from customers include plenty of praise for the staff and the neighborhood bar feeling. So if you're looking for a casual atmosphere for wings, burgers, big flavors, TVs, drinks, this is the kind of place where the food and the sports bar side of the business support each other. Go and watch a game. And the menu's not an afterthought. When a locally owned restaurant can turn one preparation method into something people around the metro recognize by name, that business has created more than a menu item. It's created a calling card. All right, up next, we're headed back downtown to Barley's. Barley's Bar and Grill at 114 West Broadway on the historic 100 block. This has been part of downtown since 2001. Owner Matt Johnson also operates Railway Inn. About 25 years in the restaurant business, that tells you something because restaurants do not reach that mark by accident. Barley's is a bar and grill, but it has always tried to make the food more interesting than the most predictable version of bar food. The current menu includes burgers, sandwiches, pizza, hand-breaded pork tenderloin, salads, a soup and salad bar. They also have monthly specials that are usually pretty darn good. Its namesake Barley Burger starts with a 7-ounce patty, bacon, red onion marmalade. Also, the Hot Rod Pizza combines double pepperoni, banana peppers, cream cheese, and a 4-cheese blend. Look at me just reading their menu. I'm getting hungry. You can find items like fish and chips, chicken fried steak, plenty of appetizers. Barley's has 32 local and craft beers on tap. Now, kegs do change, but craft beer is clearly part of Barley's identity, and it fits the 100 block. Come in for lunch, meet somebody after work, watch a game, or make Barley's one stop during an evening downtown. Looking at the customer reviews, you see a lot about that long wooden bar, comfortable atmosphere, that broad beer selection, burgers, onion rings, sandwiches, and enough variety that a group doesn't all have to want the same thing. So if you're going in for a burger or fish and chips or the sweet potato fries, everybody's getting attention along with the service. Barley's also has 3 rooms available for private events, and it may not sound like the first thing you mention when talking about a restaurant, but it is part of how a long-running local business stays useful to the community. A restaurant can be the place where you grab a burger, and it can also be where somebody holds a retirement party, a family gathering, or a meeting. Matt Johnson, by the way, received the 2026 Mercy Heritage Award for community involvement. That award is more than what comes out of the kitchen. It reflects the role a local owner can play over time. And after about 25 years, Barley's has had the opportunity to become part of a lot of downtown memories. Some meals feed the family. The right cut of meat makes them memorable. Rustic Cuts, Iowa's premier butcher shop, offers premium beef, pork, chicken, and specialty cuts, carefully selected and expertly prepared by their Council Bluffs team. Find the perfect steak for the grill. Stock your freezer with a meat box, or choose a gift card for someone who loves great food. Visit Rustic Cuts at 501 Veterans Memorial Highway, and then shop rusticcutsmeat.com. If you have a leak, a clogged drain, or even if you're planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered. With fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. They're locally owned and trusted and take pride in doing the job right the first time. Residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike, they're the ones to call. Visit waldsteinplumbing.com. Technology should work for you, not against you. At ThinkSpace IT, they provide expert IT solutions to keep your business running smoothly and securely. From cybersecurity and cloud services to network management and tech support, they simplify IT so you can focus on what matters most. Stay protected, stay connected, stay ahead. Visit ThinkSpaceIT.com. Moving on, our next stop is built around smoke, and they're very particular about how that smoke is made. It is Barbecue Brothers. Barbecue Brothers at 321 Comanche. The brick and mortar cafe opened in early 2024. This is a veteran-owned business, also operates a food truck and offering catering. couple of founders that started this, they were friends and business partners, worked as chefs at the Veterans Administration. The restaurant's message is very direct: real wood and real smoke. In fact, the menu takes a playful shot at pellet smokers. I'm not stepping into that argument today, but barbecue people do have strong opinions, and I would like to finish the show. So what matters is that Barbecue Brothers has made its method part of the identity of the business. The core menu gives you brisket, pulled pork, smoked turkey, and spare ribs. Also, you can order a sandwich, a meat platter, rib plates, meat by the half pound, or loaded fries. I've had those. They're good. The sides include macaroni and cheese, baked beans, coleslaw, dirty rice, potato salad, and green beans. Then you have corn cakes in honey or jalapeno cheddar. They also make several sauces, including honey, sweet and spicy, white barbecue, and Carolina mustard. That menu tells you what kind of place this is. It is focused. They're not trying to make barbecue one small category buried inside of 6 pages of unrelated food. The smoked meats are the center of the business, and the sides are there to complete the meal. Customer reviews, they're talking about all of the meats: the brisket, the pulled pork, the smoked turkey, loaded fries. Pretty much everything is hitting that list. One customer singled out the macaroni and cheese and also mentioned meeting one of the owners, Paul. And there is limited seating inside of the cafe, so keep that in mind. And this means that's a place where pickup matters. The food truck and catering operation let the business take the food to crowds around the area. Here's something I do respect about that menu. It doesn't hide the choices behind vague descriptions. You can see the meats, the portion formats, the sides, the sauces. You want brisket and ribs? You know where to start. You want to try a few meats with sides? The platter does the job. Barbecue Brothers is still young as a cafe compared with some names on this list, but it arrived with experience behind it and a very clear idea of what it wants to be. Now, moving into a restaurant where sports are part of the name and comfort food is a major part of the appeal. I'm talking about Home Team Cookout. Home Team Cookout at 3150 24th Avenue is the former Ruby Tuesday building. Local reporting identified Jake Teetsord and Ray Barker as lifelong friends, sports fans, and the owners behind the restaurant. I've met Jake, great guy. Plans for the location were announced in early 2022. The restaurant opened later that year. Concept, it makes sense for its location. Home Team is close to hotels, to shopping, the Mid-America Center, the interstate, several places where teams and families already travel. It's a sports bar environment, but the restaurant describes its menu as made from scratch comfort food. I can personally attest to that. That is true. The menu and current reviews back up the comfort food part of that description. The hand-breaded pork tenderloin, it's one of the dishes most frequently associated with Home Team. So are the chicken fried steak, hot beef sandwich, walleye sandwich, Philly cheesecake, burgers, onion rings. I would also add meatloaf to that list. Recent customer comments this year specifically praised the hot roast beef sandwich, and also one customer pointed to the chicken honey garlic wings. When you look at the list, you're not looking at tiny plates and decorative dots of sauce. This is filling food, and it's the kind of menu where somebody can order a tenderloin, somebody else can get hot beef, and another person can get wings, and the table can still agree on watching the same game. Well, unless one is an Iowa fan, one's an Iowa State fan, and somebody let a Nebraska fan in. The restaurant can only solve so many problems. Portion size comes up repeatedly in public reviews. Customers also mention staff members helping them work through a broad menu and food arriving hot. You know, the restaurant's ownership story also fits the concept. 2 lifetime friends, a sports fan, built a place around food, games, and group gathering together. Plenty of sports bars in the world, so hanging televisions on the wall is not enough. The food has to give people a reason to come back when their team is not playing. Home Team's tenderloin and comfort food menu gives it that second reason. This is one of the newer businesses on the list. It does not have a 50-year story behind it. What it does have is a clear niche, a recognizable menu, and several years of building its own group of regulars. Now, up next, we're headed to the corner of 8th Street and Avenue G, Third Base Bar and Grill at 800 North 8th Street. Third Base describes itself as a friendly neighborhood sports bar. That description fits both the location and the way customers talk about it. The restaurant promotes NFL Sunday Ticket, Major League Baseball package, Broasted chicken, burgers, wings, and karaoke on Friday and Saturday nights. So if you're going specifically for karaoke or a game, be sure to confirm the schedule first. The menu has more range than the name might lead somebody to expect. There's a hand-breaded pork tenderloin, the third base melt, chicken sandwiches, wings, steak sandwiches, burgers, and breakfast choices. Burger options include a mushroom and Swiss and breakfast burger, also a smokehouse burger and Korean barbecue burger. Roasted chicken, that is one of the items that keeps coming up in all the customer comments, and that's what keeps people coming back. And you're also going to find cheeseburgers and a steak sandwich and just also a hangover skillet. I haven't had that one yet. A 2026 review talked about a group gathering there during March Madness, staying to watch Iowa State and appreciating the food and service. It's a good picture of what a neighborhood sports bar is supposed to do. It gives people a place to watch together instead of sitting at home yelling at the TV alone. The menu and customer feedback point to the same basic identity: sports, neighborhood atmosphere, burgers, roasted chicken, breakfast, and familiar food done with enough personality to build a following. There is a difference between a generic sports bar and somebody's neighborhood sports bar. The reviews also suggest that Third Base fills that neighborhood role for many of its customers. Moving on now, another place where sports are part of the experience, but this time you might be playing instead of watching. Going to that other Matt Johnson restaurant, Railway Inn. Railway Inn at 115 South 12th Street. Its current slogan may be the most efficient description of any restaurant on the list: breakfast, booze, and volleyball. Railway has been part of Council Bluffs for decades, and it's been under local ownership since 2023, when Matt Johnson, the owner of Barley's, purchased it and now owns and operates Railway. Breakfast is a big piece of Railway's identity. Comments repeatedly mention the eggs and bacon and hash browns and toast, breakfast burritos, chicken fried steak. They also serve lunch and dinner, but opening early gives it a different role than a bar and grill that wakes up around lunchtime. Then there are the 3 sand volleyball courts. Those courts are not a new decoration added for a photograph. Railway's volleyball leagues and tournaments were already well established more than a decade ago, and they remain a part of the restaurant's identity during the warmer months. So think about the different groups that can use a place like this. You got the breakfast regulars, people stopping for lunch, the evening crowd, when weather cooperates, volleyball teams, and the people come out to watch. It's a different reason to walk through the same door. Public reviews use words like friendly, welcoming, and neighborhood when describing Railway. Those words fit the business model, and we're excited to add them here onto the list. Railway opens at 7 in the morning every day, shorter hours on Sunday. So if you want breakfast early, a bar and grill meal later, or sand volleyball when the leagues are running, Railway occupies its own unusual lane. Jason James, Yvette Perdue, and Jake Stander are JPS Realty Group, your friends in real estate, based in Council Bluffs and serving clients across Council Bluffs, Omaha, and beyond. They help buyers and sellers move forward with local knowledge and personal guidance from the first showing through closing. When it's time to find a home or sell the one you own, put the JPS team to work for you. Learn more at jps.heartlandproperties.com. Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get things back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke, and that can oftentimes lead to mold, and you may be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. It's easy. You give Cindy Schmader a call with Service Master Restore by Schmader. Her phone number, 402-339-9911. Now, let's move south, back to Veterans Memorial Highway, and we are going to the Dock. The Dock Bar and Grill at 401 Veterans Memorial Highway. The menu covers a lot of local bar and grill territory: burgers, blue cheese, and bacon. Also, mushroom and Swiss, patty melt, hand-breaded pork tenderloin, a Philly, French dip, chicken sandwiches, baskets, a cheese Frenchie. The last item, that's one of those regional foods that you may need an explanation if you're new to Council Bluffs, but many people around Council Bluffs and Omaha know exactly what they're getting. Deep fried cheese sandwich that is not pretending to be health food. The customer review pattern is a lot longer than just one signature dish. People mention the Philly cheesesteak, the chicken fried steak, the pizza, the onion rings, French dip. You can be out there for breakfast on the weekends. Reviews also talk about music bingo, live music, probably the top outdoor music venue in Council Bluffs, and a crowd giving the place a Cheers-like feeling. Tells you what those customers value. They feel comfortable there, and they recognize people. And they also talk about food arriving hot, reasonable prices, and friendly service. The dock is also a very good example of why local restaurants can't always be reduced to a single category. Is it a lunch spot? Yes. Is it a neighborhood bar? Yes. Is it a place for breakfast on the weekend, music, dinner, or a game? Well, depending on the schedule, yes to all of those. The menu gives people plenty of choices, while the entertainment side gives them reasons to stay longer than the meal. And being on Veterans Memorial Highway puts it within easy reach of the interstate on the south side of Council Bluffs. If somebody knows only the chain restaurants around the exits, the dock is a reminder that a local option may just be a short drive away. Next on our list, a restaurant that sits a little further outside of town. It's on Old Lincoln Highway. We've talked about it a lot. It is the Mile Away. The official address is 20270 Old Lincoln Highway. Now, the current owners, Charles and Jess, they took over in April of 2022. The business is family-owned and operated by a team of family and friends. The location is part of the experience. It's outside the most crowded restaurant corridors. It feels more like a destination. You go there because you mean to go there. Once you arrive, the business has several personalities working together. The main level is the bar and grill side. Burgers, loaded Phillies, sandwiches, salads, breakfast, weekly specials, appetizers. The reviews talk about the steak bites, the wings, the chicken strips, fried mushrooms and onion rings, the tachos, tater tot nachos. One customer called the wings the best they'd tried. Others said the family drives an hour and a half to eat there. Then there's something that is, well, it's reasonably new. It's called the upper level. And on the top floor of the Mile Away, you're going to find pool, darts, cornhole, leagues, tournaments, a full bar, and an outdoor deck. So during the warmer parts of the year, sand volleyball becomes a major piece of the business, recreational and competitive leagues, and a courtside bar. That mix is important because a restaurant in a destination location needs more than just one reason for people to make the drive. The Mile Away can be a place for a meal, a league night, a tournament, a drink on the deck, or a group gathering. Those activities create traffic on different days and at different times. So, as we mentioned, the Mile Away describes itself as family-friendly. Customers talk about a hometown atmosphere and friendly owners. The business has built its offerings around groups, teams, leagues, families, and friends. So if you haven't been there since ownership changed in 2022, go on out. Trust me, you're going to like it. Check out the current schedule, especially if volleyball, pool, darts, brunch, or live entertainment is the reason for your visit. Those details can change. Just following them on their Facebook page at the Mile Away is a pretty easy way to take care of that. All right, now we are going to finish with this list. And as I said, no particular order. This is not a top 10 list. It's just 10 of my favorites. This is a Council Bluffs restaurant that traces its history back to 1954, probably the one most likely that's going to create a childhood memory discussion, and that is Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme at 2853 North Broadway. The business traces its Council Bluffs history back to 1954. It's now a third-generation, family-owned operation. Krispy Kreme known for ice cream and sherbet, but don't forget about the food side. The menu includes burgers, an Omaha Steaks cheeseburger, bacon burgers, a chicken sandwich with homemade béarnaise sauce, a patty melt, an Iowa tenderloin, fries, and onion rings. Everything made to order. Then get dessert. There are cones, sundaes, shakes, malts, floats, freezes, banana splits, parfaits, also the Banana Mountain. Krispy Kreme says its banana split recipe has remained unchanged for decades. The Emerald Isle and other specialty creations have their own loyal fans. And that homemade sherbet, one of the things that gives Krispy Kreme its identity. The business rotates among 10 flavors with a different flavor featured each day. You got raspberry, you got lime, mango, huckleberry. That's among the flavors customers mentioned in reviews. If you have a favorite, check the daily flavor before you go, or take your chances, try whatever on the sign. Customer comments often mention the soft serve sherbet, the banana splits, the root beer floats, all of the food, and the nostalgic feeling around the place. Many of those comments focus on the ice cream family tradition and people returning year after year. That is what makes Krispy Kreme different from simply buying dessert at a national drive-thru. A business that traces its history to 1954 and has the opportunity to become part of several generations of Council Bluffs memories. The building, the outdoor ordering window, the seasonal feeling are all part of the experience. Krispy Kreme also supports local schools and charities, which is another way the business stays connected with Council Bluffs. So that's where I'm going to leave this list. A burger, some fries, and whatever sherbet flavor happens to be available today. Again, these are not rankings, just 10 of my favorites. So talked about Napoli's, Salty Dog, Barley's, Barbecue Brothers, Home Team Cookout, Third Base, Railway Inn, The Dock, The Mile Away, and Krispy Kreme. You can disagree if you want to, and in fact, I expect you to disagree on some of the things. Restaurant lists are supposed to start conversations. So how about it? What local restaurant would be on your list? And more importantly, when was the last time you stopped in? That's the important part. A locally owned restaurant cannot survive on compliments. It survives when you walk through the door. You order the food, you tip the staff, bring somebody with you, and then come back again. That's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you for watching Council Bluffs Today, presented by Waldstein Plumbing. So if you have a restaurant you want me to know about, put it in the comments. And when you're deciding where to eat this week, give a local place a chance. My name is Todd Studer, and we'll see you next time.